up, everyone? Welcome to the Casually Fit Podcast. My name is Rob, and welcome. Thank you for stopping by. It's Wednesday, okay? I hope everybody's having a good day. It's hump day. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, rest of your week, and maybe you got some plans for this weekend. Maybe you're going to go buck wild. I don't know, but I hope everything's going well for everybody. Now, let me just take care of the elephant in the room. I know all of you are wondering, not really, but I planned on having this podcast every Wednesday and Friday. I was very excited about this, and I thought, man, Rob, you're going to do this podcast 2 days a week. It's going to be great. You're going to get it. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, guess what? What happened is, because I live a busy life, I got to do this, and I got to do a bunch of other things to make sure my life goes well. And I basically came into every podcast almost missing it. And a lot of them were done very rushed, and I wasn't able to put my full attention to the podcast before I got there or really when I got there. Okay, so I saw that as being an issue, and I painstakingly listened to the podcast and realized, there's issues. Okay, so that's where I said, oh, I gotta cut off the Friday podcast. The Friday podcast is done. It's dead to me. And now I'm only doing Wednesday. So it's going to be a once a week podcast until further notice. All right. And again, I'm going to be trying to bring some good information here. I'm going to be trying to make it worth your time. That's the main goal with this, is to make it worth people's time, right? I feel like that's a good goal to have when you have a podcast. But that's it for that. So just look out for these things every Wednesday. I'm going to upload them sometime in the morning, but obviously it's podcast. You can listen to this whenever the hell you want. Other than that, real quick, I just released a video about being outdoors. I really like that topic. I think I'm going to do another podcast, like a podcast video or whatever on that topic, because I really like the topic of, hey, you need to work out, you need to be in the gym, lifting weights, running, stretching. You need to do all that, but you also need to get outside and interact with other people doing some sort of team sport, or you need to do some sort of sport like surfing, mountain biking, something. You need to connect what you're doing in the gym with the real world, the outside world. You need to get out of the AC, and I just think there's so many different benefits from, the production of vitamin D from being out in the sunlight, but also I believe that you're going to be so much more in tune with your body. You're going to be more aware of how your body moves if you have some sort of activity. And I think that helps complement the gym really nicely. But yes, I did a video on that, and it's just a topic that I am all for, right? Because for me, I love being in the gym, I love running, I love stretching, but I also love surfing, right? And I need to do both. I've gone where I've only done one or the other, and it's just not as fulfilling. It's more fulfilling when I'm doing both. And I think that is a good thing to kind of strive for people out there. If you don't have some sort of outdoor activity, find one, okay? But yes, go check out that video if you want. Other than that, real quick, I also have a workout program that is free. It is free right now. I took away the membership wall. I will be putting the wall back up at an undisclosed time. Not sure when I'm going to do that, but I will put the wall back up, and anybody who is using it at the time I'm putting the wall back up, I'll figure it out to make sure that you don't pay for it if you have been using it. But right now it is free. There's 3 workout programs on there. One workout program is a home workout for people who have been working out for a while. It's pretty intense. But there's also 2 other ones that are called the First Step workout programs. One is for home workouts. It's just body weight exercises for people who don't have access to a gym or don't want to go to the gym. And there's another one for people who have access to a gym and want to go to the gym. And these are geared towards people who have not exercised in years or have never exercised. So if that interests you, it is all free. It is on the website, thegymratworld.com. And that is it for, I guess, the intro, right? I'm having a pretty good week. I'm having some fun. My back is acting up a little bit. It's kind of a bummer. The surf is up. And when the surf's up, I got to get out there, got to catch some waves. And it's a bummer because, the surf isn't always, big, right? So when the surf does come and it's big and then I'm injured, it's like, it's such a bummer because a large part of me just says, hey, get out there, go surf, deal with the pain then, and then deal with the pain afterwards, which honestly, I've been doing that for a long time. And I've been doing that for a while, which is why my back still is not 100% recuperated because, I just go out there. Like right now, my back is hurting a little bit to where I know if I go surfing, it'll hurt a lot when I get done. But I'm going to go surfing tomorrow morning. So, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But yeah, so that's just kind of what's going on with me and obviously changing up the podcast schedule. But today's topic, what I want to talk about today is casually fit, the name, right? I think that a lot of people can get confused by it. A lot of people can think I'm talking about something else when I'm not. So I just wanted to dive into that today. I just want to talk about how or what it means to be casually fit. I believe I myself am casually fit. I am a relaxed, calm person when it comes to being fit and exercising and doing all that. But at the same time, I'm also fit, right? I'm not, what I'm trying to say is, right now, there's a lot of people who build up stress in the gym. You have the people who go in there and are just pumping iron, right? They're just they're listening to metal music and they're just over stressing themselves, right? And they take everything so serious. Everything in their life in the gym is serious. Hey, first of all, if you're serious in the gym and if you're just in your own little world and you're just trying to get a workout in while you're in the gym, I don't care. I'm kind of one of those people. I kind of just go into my own little world and I just focus on, what I'm doing it at a high rate, in an intense manner, right? So I'm all for that. But when that carries over into the rest of your life and the rest of your interactions with people, I am not for that at all. And that's where the casual part comes in. Okay, I think people can definitely go into I think people can definitely be a high fitness level and be cool, calm, and chill, right? There's plenty of people that that kind of exude that kind of demeanor. And however, in the rest, like in most gyms that you go to, to find that to find somebody who is like that, it's not very common. Okay, so I think that's where this casually fit comes in. It's because I'm pretty casual on all of it, and I also like being a high level of fitness. And I think people, if you're listening to this or if you first see the podcast, you're like, casually fit. Yeah, I like casually fit. I actually planned on, going to the gym 5 times last week and I casually missed 4 of them. And I went to 1 and it was real chill. It was real casual. That's wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being so casual that you miss your workouts or so casual that you leave early for your workouts. That's not who I am at all, and that's not what being casually fit is. So if that's you, if you leave early, if you don't want to go, if you don't like going and you don't go, still listen to this podcast, right? Because I accept everybody. If that's you, you don't want to do all these things, whatever, right? You're still going to get some information from this podcast. But if that's you, don't call yourself casually fit. All right, you're just casual, right? That's all. You're just relaxed, a little too relaxed for the situation. Okay, you need to have both. You need to be relaxed, but you also need to put in the work, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about being casually fit. Now let me break down, or let me tell you a quick story for you, and I might regret this story, but I wanted to give you just one brief example of being somewhat casually fit, or how I was somewhat casually fit in the past. And, and again, I might regret telling the stories. I guess it's not too bad, but either way, let me just tell it. I think it has some reference to what I'm talking about. It just popped up in my mind, and so I'm just going to let y'all know. And but either way, so when I was in the Marine Corps, I loved running, I loved doing all of it. And I was a part of, battalions that PT'd every morning. When I was in California and when I was in Japan, I just happened to be a part of these platoons who loved PTing in the morning. It was always 5 a.m. PT all the time, which hindsight, I mean, I was in great shape because I would do the PT workout in the afternoon. I was in great shape. But, in comparison, that's actually, you would think in the Marines that every platoon would be doing PT in the morning. Really, not too many. There's only like a handful. In Japan, it's a different story. Japan, kind of everybody PTs in the morning. But for the most part, there's other, like when I was in California, there's a lot of platoons that would PT maybe a few times a week. And sometimes they would just go and play football. And so I was a part of this platoon where PT was just part of it. PT is physical time. And so my fitness level was already pretty high. And I'm especially back then, I was just young and crazy. I was very competitive back then, and I loved being at the top in terms of fitness. I loved running faster than the rest of my platoon. I loved beating all my corporals and sergeants in any PT session, in anything that we were doing, right? So I loved doing that, okay? And I was more relaxed, right? I was a little intense, okay, but I was still more relaxed. I'm realizing this is a bad example. This is a bad example that I'm about to tell you, and this is a level of casual that I don't think anybody should be. All right. But I'm already partly through the story, so I'm going to finish it. So either way, so that's kind of where you kind of get the setting. You kind of get where I'm at fitness level. And so either way, I picked up corporal, and once you pick up corporal, you're an E4 and you have to go through this corporal's course. And I remember everybody telling me, this is going to be the hardest course you're ever going to do. You're going to fall out. You're going to fail. You're not going to be able to do the PT sessions. The PT sessions are insane, blah, blah, blah. And I took it serious. I was like, oh, because the worst thing for me was falling out. The worst thing for me was not completing a PT session and just falling out. And throughout my entire Marine Corps, I don't think I ever fell out, even to the point where I was blacking out. Well, get into that different day, but I was blacking out at one point multiple times on a hike, and I didn't fall out. So I took it serious because I was like, well, these people kind of know what they're talking about. They've been through the course. They're saying it's very difficult, blah, blah, blah. So I took it serious. Well, I thought I took it serious. So the night, I was drinking heavy back then. This is when I turned 21, like 3 months before I went into corporal's course. And I was in 29 Palms, California, and that place sucks. It's the desert, right? Shout out to everybody who lives in 29 Palms, Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree. but it sucks there, and everybody, drinking was just a thing. And me, I had this proclivity to drinking a lot. Okay, I would drink a lot. Way more than people should. And so I was taking it serious coming up to corporal's course. A couple days before, I was getting all ready. I was working out. I was making sure I'm resting as well. And I'm getting all pumped. And then the night before corporal's course, I was with my buddies, and for whatever reason, they're like, hey, we're going to go do this thing. And I was like, well, I got corporal's course in the morning. They're like, whatever, just come with. So came with, long story short, got way too drunk. I think I went to sleep at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. And this wasn't, I've done this many times. Again, bad example. These aren't this isn't a good example. This isn't something that you should listen to and be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Don't do this. But I went into corporal's course into that morning PT session, and I was just like, well, if I puke, I puke. If I fall out, I guess, I don't want it to happen, but I put myself in this situation and I'm here. So I'm just going to do it. And I made it through the entire thing, made it out on top, of course, and just pushed through. And then every day after that for the corporal's courses, I can't remember how long it was, it was multiple weeks. And we had to show up like every day. I believe it was multiple weeks, I think, and definitely had to show up every day. And so we had PT every day, and I would just go into this and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to drink the night before, and I won't drink the night before when I puke. And it never happened. And again, this is a bad example, but that can kind of be casually fit because I took a very relaxed approach to being fit. I was like, look, I got this PT session in the morning. I want to hang out with the boys at night. I want to get some drinks in me. Want to have some fun. I'm relaxed about it. Yes, I have this corporal's course. I got this big thing up here, but I think I was just so confident in myself and my abilities through the work I put in to where I was able to be casual about the situation. I was able to be relaxed about the situation. Wasn't all tensed up, wasn't all crazy about everything. And that is kind of how I tie it into casually fit. Casually fit. And that's, again, it's a bad example, but it's a story that we just went into. We came out. If you think less of me, hey, guess what? So do I. So, but yeah, so that is kind of an example of being casually fit. That's a very bad example. But as far as being fit, fit is it's kind of a loaded word. It means different things to different people. Some people who are very high level, who can run hundreds of miles or who can bench hundreds of pounds or, whatever, they just look at themselves and their little arena and their little world, and they think that they're fit, and they think that everybody else around them who isn't in this little world with them isn't fit. And I don't think that's correct. That's not, if you can't bench 300 pounds, that doesn't mean you're not fit. If you can't run 100 miles at once, that doesn't mean you're not fit as well. If you can run 100 miles, that means you're extremely fit. If you can bench over 300 pounds, 400 pounds, that just means you're extremely strong, right? So, and I think this is where the message on being fit kind of gets muddied a little bit. It's kind of cloudy, especially for people who are just coming into the fitness world. It's like there's a lot of different opinions. There's a lot of different things going on. But when you come here to casually fit, what I'm talking about, especially as far as fitness, what I'm talking about is really three things, okay? And I'm explaining all this because, again, I don't want people to get this casually fit thing wrong. I don't want people to be lazy and listen. I mean, if you're lazy and you're not, again, if you're a lazy person and you're listening to this podcast, keep on listening to this podcast, right? It's going to help you out. But if you're lazy and you're saying, hey, there's a lazy podcast called The Casually Fit for lazy people, this ain't it, okay? This is not it. When I talk about fit, I think for myself and for everybody, I think you should look at it in three areas that you should have control over. You should have some strength, you should have some cardio, and you should have some flexibility. It's pretty basic, right? As far as being fit. As far as strength, I think a general gauge for people with strength to consider yourself fit is to be able to, lift up your body weight, right? You should be able to do, 5 or more pull-ups, something like that. You should be able to lift around, or you should be able to throw around some dumbbells. So that's kind of, the strength level you should be at to be considered fit. And you should be able to, or you should be working out many times throughout the week, and you should have plenty of weeks stacked up of you working out to be considered fit. And then as far as cardio, I think people should be at a level where they can jump on a treadmill or they can go run outside for like 3 to 5+ miles at a decent pace, anywhere from like a 7 to 9 minute pace, then you can basically call yourself fit. And also, I think people should be able to touch their toes. And that is fitness. And that's fit what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about being casually fit, that's just baseline, right? That's just me saying, hey, this is the fitness that I recognize. You should be able to, lift your weight up. You should be able to run a little bit, and you should be able to touch your toes. Okay, so that's the fitness that I'm talking about with this podcast. And again, I don't think you have to lift, bench. I don't think you have to bench 300, 400 pounds to be considered fit. I think that's kind of ridiculous, okay? And again, I think people are getting confused with this. So don't be confused. Just be with the casually fit crew, right? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about being fit. I myself like to be exceptionally fit. I like to be a higher level of fitness. But that's just me, all right? I am not somebody who says you have to be like me. I don't care if people like the things I like or do the things I do. I don't care at all. I like what I like, and that's just it. Nobody else needs to like what I like, and nobody else needs to do what I do. I do think that there is a certain level of things that people need to do, like these 3 categories. I think generally for all people, the best decision you could make is to try to do 5 or more pull-ups, and the best decision you could make is to get to a point where you can run a few miles and be able to touch your toes. I think generally that's just a blanket thing that should be the baseline for everybody. Everybody should be fit just because we kind of have to be to live a long, fulfilled life, a life that is filled with quality living, not absolutely hating the last 15 years of our lives because we're in so much pain and we can't move and we have to do all these surgeries and we have all these pills that we got to take, right? So that's what I'm talking about. As far as if I'm telling people to do anything, I'm just saying, hey, try to get to this baseline. That's where you should be at. And that doesn't mean if you're not at this level that I just explained, that doesn't mean this podcast isn't for you. Right? That doesn't mean this podcast isn't for you at all. This podcast is for you. All right? A lot of the topics I'm going to be talking about is to help people to get to this point, to get to the baseline of fit that I'm talking about, because, it's unfortunate, but there's not a lot of people at that baseline. In the fitness world, if you're just talking to fit people or whatever, people who go to the gym, yeah, there's a bunch of people at that baseline. There's a lot of people that are above that baseline. But when you're talking about the gen population, there's not. And that's a bummer for a lot of different reasons. And so, again, this podcast is going to be kind of geared towards helping to bring people up and also give people who are at this baseline some additional information. And, again, I'm going to try, and this goes against what almost everybody says, just pick a lane and pick a small little niche, however you want to say it. Pick that and then only do that. I'm going to be covering the entire spectrum from being sitting on the couch, not doing anything, to running every single day, lifting weights every single day, doing all that. So that's what this podcast is going to be about. And that, as far as fitness, now comes the casual part. Okay, again, people are a little bit too serious out there. All right, people are way too serious. They are taking themselves, it's so weird out there. All right, think about how many gym selfies are taken every day. In fact, if gym selfies were pieces of plastic, by now we would be able to walk across the entire ocean. All right, that's ridiculous, okay? There's too many people taking gym selfies, and they're way too serious when they post it, and they're way too serious when they put hashtag beast mode. There's just too many serious people out there within the fitness community trying to move up. I get it. There are certain stages, I think, that all people are kind of going to go through when they go from not working out to then working out, exercising, lifting weights. They're seeing progress. They're getting strong. There is certain stages that people go through. So one of the stages is a little bit too much self-love, I would say, a little bit too much confidence. And I think I think that lies the issue, because some people kind of extend that stage, or they actually don't realize it's a stage, and they go, this is just who I am. Now I am this overconfident person that walks around with this Dunning-Kruger effect, which is an issue, right? Dunning-Kruger is where I don't want to look up the correct definition, but from off the top of the dome, Dunning-Kruger is where you go around. If you're competent or confident in one area, you go into the rest of the world and you say, I am now competent and confident in all these other areas. It's like somebody who can deliver a package well, right? They can show up to the house. They know exactly where the house is at. They know how to process the package and drop the package off, get back in their truck, cruise out. It's like that person saying, you know what? I think I can solve world hunger. Yeah, I can solve world hunger, and I think I might, so that's, or they think that they can solve some math problem. So that's an issue all on its own, but that's where the casually part comes in. I want you to be about all the fitness stuff that I just talked about, but I want people to be relaxed, right? Because I'm relaxed. I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty calm. When I'm working out, it's kind of a different, I'm still calm and chill, but it's a little bit more intense. But I don't carry that intensity around. And I think too many people carry that intensity around. There's like a certain demeanor that so many people have that is just so off-putting for the rest of the world, all right? Generally speaking, if you have somebody who is just all tensed up with just a protein shake duct taped to their hand so they don't lose any time in between meals, they can just keep on, when they're so serious about it, and when they talk to you for hours about how their meal prep, how they gotta cut the chicken, and they gotta make sure there's no seasoning on the chicken, because if you have seasoning, you're not gonna get the gains you need, and you gotta have rice, and you can't have soy sauce and nobody likes having fun in the fitness world. I think, you need to be more chill, right? Unless you're somebody who is trying to be a top level marathon runner or a top level endurance runner, hey, guess what? You probably don't need to run 100 miles, right? If you want to, go ahead. I'm just saying, you don't have to. But if you want to, I'm all for it. I'm all for anybody doing anything that they want. You don't have to be a top level person or an athlete to run those 100 miles, right? But what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to be that serious either. For most people, if you're just a regular like accountant, you don't really have to be this serious about the situation, about being this fit. You don't have to be so serious about to where internally, what I should say is internally, you don't have internally, you can be as serious as you want, okay? But externally, when you interact with the rest of the world, you don't have to be. You should be a little bit more chill with it, a little bit more relaxed. I mean, because, the thing that a lot of people hate, almost it's like a stereotype, I guess, or a lot of people just don't like it when, especially if somebody has not been working out or they haven't been watching their diet, and they get around somebody who is a fitness person. A lot of people get uncomfortable around me as if I care about their diet or as if I care about their fitness level or whatever. I don't care. If somebody doesn't want to do those things, I don't care. I think the best choice for them would be to follow some sort of a diet or to have some sort of exercise routine. I think that's probably the better choice, but I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But there are so many people out there where they care too much, where it matters like a life or death thing, and they want everybody to do the same diet they're doing, and they want everybody to do the same workouts that they're doing, and that is not being casually fit. That is not what this podcast represents at all. Okay, this is more relaxed. This is more chill. This is where you put in the work and you're just relaxed about it, right? You know, the core people that I'm talking about when it comes to being casually fit, these are the people I would hope gravitate towards this podcast. Is the core people I'm talking about is those out there who don't care if they post gym selfies, who don't care about posting how many miles they ran that day or how much weight they lifted. These are people who don't stare in the mirror in their off time or in public at the gym where they get done with the set, or while they're doing the set, they're like, pushing up, and then they're staring in the mirror just like some American, what's that? Is it American Psycho? Can't remember I think it is American Psycho. Like that movie, right? Like they're Christian Bale in American Psycho. They're psychos, okay? So that's not the core audience that I'm trying to talk to here when I'm talking about being casually fit. I would hope that the people I'm talking to, or the ideas or the state of being that I'm trying to espouse, is somebody who can do that. Like if they did take gym selfies, they would have something to show. If they did post how much they did that day in terms of fitness, it would be something to recognize. They are at these higher levels, but they don't feel the need to be, ooh, I got to post beast mode. Ooh, I got to, okay? If you want to take a gym selfie every now and then, whatever. And if it's for your job, that's a completely different story. But for most people, right, I just think the being super serious about it and making fitness your entire life and the only thing that you focus on, that is not, again, for everybody else who has regular jobs or non-fitness jobs for that matter, I just don't think that's the way to go. I think everybody should just be more chill about it. It should be more relaxed about it. People are just taking things way too serious. The whole world is taking taking basically everything way too serious. And it's enough of that. People need to relax. People need to chill, but still do the work. Okay, this is where the message kind of gets, people hear me say, hey, you need to be more relaxed. You need to be more chill. And they think, oh, this person's just lazy. This person's telling me to quit early. This person's just espousing this lazy nonsense, right? And no, that's not what I'm trying to say. That's just the demeanor. And I would say that for people out there, I'm on this very long meditation journey, and this is where it gets all wooey, right? but I'm on this very long journey with meditation to where I've really realized that being calm in the moment of chaos is, that's what you should be doing. You should, and I've done this my entire life, and in all these situations, and surfing really shows this, is being calm in the most intense, chaotic situations, like in terms of fitness, like lifting weights. Like if you're benching and you got 2 plates on each side, it's kind of an intense situation, right? And you can go up there and you can build up all your energy, like Goku built up his energy from all the plants. Remember that from Dragon Ball Z? You can build up all your energy and all your stress and all the hate you have for the world, and you can turn your metal music up to 20, and you can get in there and you can pound it out. You can do that. Plenty of people do that. Or you can go look at the 2 plates on the side and go, okay, got this, all right. Do I have my hands in the right place? Hands are in the right place. Okay, lift up. All right, got the right position. Now go down, go up, down. You can just be calm about it. You can just be chill. You don't have to be, the world doesn't have to be on fire in your mind. All right, it can be, again, different strokes for different folks. Okay, you can do whatever you want, and I support however anybody is. But I'm just saying, for me, what I'm about, it's not about that. I used to be about that. It's not about that anymore. It's more about being that casual, more relaxed. And yeah, so that's Casually Fit. I think that's the entire podcast. I'm not too sure. I don't know if I think I hit the points that I wanted to hit. But that's the community. Okay, that is the community that I'm talking about. When you hear the Casually Fit podcast music in the beginning, know that you are coming into this area to where it is about being fitness at a good level, and it's also about being relaxed about it. It's about being a person who is not over stressed out. It's about being somebody who isn't all caught up in gym selfies and hashtag beast mode. It's not about doing workouts in the mirror just to look at yourself in the mirror. It's not about these things. It's not about wearing the tightest, most elastic spandex stuff in the world. It's not about wearing stringers. Stringers. Oh, I could do a whole podcast on stringers. It's not about that. Okay. You can be a high level of fitness and you can be relaxed, calm, and a normal person, right? There's plenty. Thankfully, there's a lot of people out there who are like this. Okay. So this is something that is changing. This isn't how it was growing up. The only thing that I saw was the opposite. There was no Casually Fit. There was intense. You are an intense person. You are built up with anger, and that's the only way to be fit. So just know, Casually Fit, this is a chill spot to where, again, hopefully get you some information and help you out. Okay, people from all levels can listen to this. And if you're part of the Casually Fit crew, if you kind of identify with being just more relaxed, but also putting in work, welcome. Thank you for coming. Tell other people about it so then I can get a new setting. I mean, look at this. This ain't great. This is just white. It's not the best, okay? This is just my desk, my work desk. I need to get something else, right? So tell some people about it, and maybe I can get something else, and we can get something else, because I do want to get to a point to where I bring guests in and do a little bit more in-depth stuff and just grow from there. You guys didn't need to know any of that, but yeah. So just look out for this podcast every Wednesday in the morning. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening or watching, and have a good day.